So what's exciting is that more and more people are waking up to the power of the mind, that our minds have the ability to help heal our bodies, to change our lives in the most amazing ways. But what I'm seeing is that more and more people have misconceptions about how to get it to work. And so they're feeling stuck. And that's the same place I was. For years I was doing all of the things, meditating, thinking positive, binaural beats, frequencies, positive thinking, you name it, visualization, all of the things, the latest and greatest wiring of the this and the that. And of course that was, 20 years ago of when I started my whole journey. But my point is, I was asking myself, well, why isn't it working? I'm doing all of the things. And I see people doing that same thing so often. And that's really what I want to kind of hone in on, is the specifics, and kind of looking at the specific thing is that more and more people are getting it into their mind that to be able to heal, all they have to do is get things linked up. If everything is firing at the same time, or specific things are firing in the mind, that's all that takes, is we just have to really program the mind. But we have to go beyond that. And let me explain. If I ask you to name a red fruit, what do you think of? Maybe an apple. Okay, that is linked in your mind. So that's linked in your mind. Does that mean that you're going to manifest a ton of apples, or there apples are all around you? Or, not really. Because there's more to it. Not just linking things in the mind. So even if you think about it, another way to think about it is like this. Is that if I ask you your name, that's linked in your mind. You know your name. Now, what is deeper than that? Is it, do you have feelings of insecurity? Do you have feelings of feeling confident, of not good enough, of, there are so many deeper emotions and deeper things that are going on that are connected. And a lot of times they can be mixed. A person may feel confident in one area of life, but fearful or insecure in another area that is impacting them. And so that's really part of my point, is that I see people who are in the same place that I was so many times, where they go, but I've been doing everything for 10, 20, 30 years, and they're doing all of the things, but they're not going deeper to create that real change. And actually, if you think about last week's podcast episode, I worked with our beautiful volunteer, Dr. Kim, and she had been in that very place where she was, suppressing emotions and a pattern that was linked up really at a deeper level. And so it's not just about changing the links, it's about changing the pattern. When we change patterns, we really repattern the mind. That's when things really change. It's incredible. And that's one key. That was a key that I found, is like, oh, wait a second. Everybody's talking about reprogramming the mind. I need to change patterns. So there's a whole new patterned way of thinking and feeling and perceiving. And it's just, when you create that shift, it becomes pivotal. You see in a different way. You think in a different way. That is the key. And that's what we really want to do at a deeper level. And a simple way to think about it is like this, is if you imagine somebody who's thinking and feeling and perceiving from a place of fear. They see this in a place of fear, and they see this in a place of fear, and they see this in a place of fear. They have a patterned way of thinking. Could that affect their health? Yes. And I say yes with a hesitancy, because it could, but typically it's not enough. And this is what I mean. So yes, that could affect their health. And then we also have to think about the awareness that there are multiple keys or multiple factors in the subconscious mind. So a simple way to think about it is, you hear me say the example all the time, that people can have trauma, severe trauma, PTSD, and they're not sick. Meanwhile, somebody else can have stress, but they can have it connected to their health issue. I mean, we know stress can affect the physical body. And so notice, when you think about it in this way, that, well, wait a second. Stress can affect the body, and we know that. But also people can be stressed and not be sick. How does that work? And that's what you'll hear me talk about all the time, is that what I found is it really takes a specific combination. And simple way to think about it is like cake, unfortunately, but if somebody has flour and they want to make cake, that's not enough. But if they have flour and they mix it with other ingredients, then they have cake. So there's specific pieces and multiple pieces. And so then if you simplify this all and you think about repatterning the mind and addressing the specific pieces, if you will, the specific ingredients, that becomes the key. And that's when I've seen people get radical breakthroughs. And so what I want to invite you to think about on today's, quick insight for today is just, if I were to put it in a nutshell, go deeper, repattern your mind, go deeper, create that real change. Because again, if we go back to even our beautiful volunteer, I just love her from our last episode, if you think about it, going deeper, creating that real change was pivotal. Now, of course, you want to make sure to get it programmed in, to make it a new pattern, to change. So that's the quick insight that I want to share with you. And part of the reason that I want to share it also is this, is that, when you go through past episodes, you see people getting results from all kinds of things. From, there's people who've changed their eyesight. There's people who have, released pain or gotten rid of numbness or got body parts moving again, or, all kinds of incredible things. And at the end of every single episode, I tell people, you have to really, really follow through. And every volunteer is offered, after they go through the process on the episode, I always say, do you want to go on the video course? As we recommend, even though you have this amazing information, going into the video course would really help to continue to program the mind and all of these things. So my point is what? My point is that if you're here and you're working on results, and you're working on really healing yourself, and you have felt frustrated, or if you have felt like, why haven't I gotten the results yet? Or you felt like I'm doing everything, or you feel also, and remember feeling like this a lot, you feel like you're doing everything right, but the universe or the body's trying to catch up. That's how I felt. That's part of the reason I like to show pain can heal very fast, and we can change it. But it's not just pain. That was one of the things that woke me up, was just to the awareness of how fast we can get results, was looking at research on multiple personality disorder, how they could literally have different illnesses in different personalities fast. And I've seen people have changed illness or all kinds of problems fast, but, and it's a big but, it does take real change. You really have to feel in a different way. And that is key. And so that's what I'm wanting to emphasize. So this may seem, it is a quick insight, but it is an important insight. Like if I know, as I was working on healing myself, if I had somebody who said, look, you're on the path, but you really need to go deeper than you think. Deeper, a bigger change than you think, to where it's your new automatic, your mind, you're seeing things in a different way. That's the answer. And that's what another person that I work with, I literally, like, he was doing all of the things and working on getting results. And the way I put it to him is I said, you think, like giving him a football analogy, if you will, but a football field is 100 yards. It's like and I told him, I said, look, you feel like the touchdown is at the 50-yard line. So you're stopping early, but what you really want to do is go all of the way. You have to really embrace that change. And so that's today's quick IQ episode, is just thinking about how can you go deeper, further to create a real transformation in your life. So that said, I hope that that's exactly what you do, is really just ask yourself that question. Is going, okay, how can I go even deeper? How can I create this real change? And of course, making sure that you're changing those specifics. So that's the insight that I want to share with you today. And as always, a few things. If you do want more training to understand, I do have a free training. You can come check that out. If you're new to this, come check that out. If you're somebody who's wanting more step-by-step process, how to do it, I have an incredible video course that walks you through it. And as always, if you could also just take a quick moment to just hit the share button on this episode, that would be fantastic. Share it with somebody you love, somebody you care about, or somebody you don't even know, because the more that everybody wakes up to the awareness of healing with the mind, but the more that everybody gets real results, the more it changes our world, our happiness, health, life, everything. And so that, of course, is my biggest hope for our world. That's my biggest hope for you. And so on that note, I'm wishing you a happy, healthy, wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. I'll see you there.